Hey, let's face it, the reason most people start their own business is they're hoping for a different outcome. I think we'd all agree with that. Some of us would like more time with the people that we care about. Is that on the board, honey? Yeah. And some of us would like more money. And if you're anything like me, I got involved in home-based businesses back in 1993 because I wanted more of both of these. I was virtually bankrupt time-wise, and I was running out of money before I was running out of month. So what actually creates a shift so that there's a different outcome? I mean, one of the ways you want to think about it is, here's a vehicle, right? So here you are driving this convertible, okay, and it's raining, which is sort of a metaphor for not enough time and not enough money. And somebody tells you, hey man, the sun's out over here, and you want to drive the car over there where there's plenty of time and plenty of money. So that's our little metaphor. And why does this happen for some people and not for others? Well, let me tell you a little story. Turn the clock back in your mind so you can get a clear mental picture. Let's say, I don't know, 400 AD, okay? And a marketplace in one of those big hubs in the Mideast, okay? And three people are selling rugs. They're basically all selling the same rug. And the people walking through the marketplace are all the same people, right? So these merchants that are peddling the rugs, the three of them, they all have fundamentally the same rug, the same price that they're selling the rug for, and the same people that they can pitch about their rug. At 2 to 3 years later, one of them will be wealthy. One of them will be making a living, living month to month, and the other one will be out of business or living day to day on crumbs. What's the difference? Well, I discovered this in 1993, and it's made us peaceful and prosperity. Certain way. Okay. Is that up too high? Okay. All right. It's not that the winners, the guy that got wealthy or the gal that got wealthy, does certain things. It's that they do them in a certain way. That's really what's going to create a different outcome for you. Otherwise, you live the way that Thoreau talked about, a life of quiet desperation, wondering why it's not happening for you. So what is part of this certain way? Well, you got to begin with the end in mind, okay? And on last week's blog, I talked about that, and there's a link. If you didn't see it, I'd strongly suggest you do. You've got to begin with the end in mind. Now, here's what's difficult about it. In the scientific studies that myself and my wife have been through, everything we're going to give you is based on science. But they ran an fMRI. An fMRI is like your regular MRI, but it's only on the brain waves. And so they asked people to think about themselves. They asked people to think about a stranger. And they asked people to think about their future self. In other words, how they saw themselves in the future. Okay? This is really important. Okay? This is really important. In these fMRIs, there was a certain image that came up when people thought about themselves. There was a completely different image that came up when they thought about strangers. Take a guess at what showed up when they asked them to think about their future selves. It was either themselves as they are or a stranger. If you guess stranger, you're right. 100% of the time, when people were asked to think about themselves a year or two in the future, they saw it as a complete stranger. And this, and only this, is what will end procrastination. Okay? You don't have to be a good speller or a good writer to make, I know there's an S in there someplace, to make money in network marketing. So if you've started to hear about the incredible buzz, I mean, there's been over 25,000 blog posts about it. What we're actually going to do is start a 26-week course called the MKMMA, which is the Master Key Mastermind Alliance, so that you can become great friends with your future self, because your future self already knows how to be prosperous, wonderful, dynamic, and great. I'm going to tell you something. There are no common people. Only people that have been conditioned, great people like you, like everybody you know. Greatness is within everybody. Wallace Wattles wrote about this. Hanel wrote about it. The Buddha talked about it. The carpenter from Galilee talked about it. This is not a new idea. There is greatness in every single person. But we don't get there because as our current selves, we think of the future self as a stranger. That means that we must stay loyal to the conditions that we have in our life to reconfirm our identity, rather than finding out who we truly are, what your magnificent, incredible gifts really are, and then give those gifts away without expectation or reciprocity. Will shower more to give into your life and prosper you beyond your imagination. Sound like something that you'd be interested in finding out more about? Well, it really should be, because if you don't, then you're destined to recreate the past. You see, history doesn't repeat itself, people do. And when you do not know your future self, you only have one choice, and that is behave the way that you've behaved, which is what got me into no time and no money. So I needed to learn a few things. I needed to do some hard mental labor to make some changes in my mind, so that when I began with the end in mind, it wasn't about hitting a pin level. It was about meeting this magnificent, great human being, actually spiritual being, that's alive in you. It's that little guy that's been whispering, hey, here's my dream. It's your heart. It's that gal inside you that wants a different life. But we ignore it so that we can continue here, because this seems like a stranger. So what I want you to do, if that intrigues you, we have a course coming up. Your tuition's already been paid, so don't worry about that. By a stranger, by the way, which is really cool. So this isn't a pitch for money, but we do have a limited amount of members that we take in the course for one simple reason. We're going to give you hands-on, one-on-one support every day for 6 months so that you can meet this future you and create that different reality for yourself. So get on the list. Do me 2 favors. Leave a comment down below. Then we'll know that you're serious about obtaining one of the scholarships that's available. And number 2, share this with a friend. That which you share will multiply. That which you hold will diminish. Your future you knows that. Our current selves, like me, want to hang on to what they have. All right, just teasing you a little bit, but trying to give you a nudge into a different way of thinking. Peace be the journey. Opt into the list. Share it. And by the way, if you're seeing this on YouTube, get over to the World's Laziest Networker or Master Key Experience, either one. That'll get you on the early notification list and assure you of being able to claim a spot if you want it once you've seen the videos. Peace out.